Welcome to Xtra presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very censored. There are two things that's been keeping me up at night. You want what you can't have, and if it's easy, is it really worth it? Those are two things that's keeping me up at night. I am in energy conserving mode, but I'm not in energy conserving mode for the simple fact that I'm not getting sleep. It's the opposite. I am getting too much sleep, but I know what you're thinking. Didn't you just say there are things that's keeping you up at night? Yeah, it's keeping me up at night, and I am still getting too much sleep. Don't worry, it will make sense at the end. Noob that's still here, beyond the madness, that made a mistake possibly and came in this domain, you're welcome. That is, you're welcome to stay, not you're welcome. I'm not that arrogant. In fact, thank you for staying. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you make this a routine. Hopefully this is something you can enjoy. Hopefully this is something that will have you entertained. If not, there are historical documents. If not, there's other avenues that you can go. I just greatly appreciate that you took the opportunity to give this a look-see. Thank you. Many, many thanks. Regs, we back at it again. Regs, we do what we do. Regs, this feels like every single day, but it's not every single day. It just feels that way because we have a special, unique bond. We don't know what to call it yet, but that's okay because we can retroactively from the future, from the distant future, whether that's a month, whether that's a year, whether that's a decade, whether that's a century, whether that's a millennia, we can retroactively from the future go back and say it is what it always was. And that's what it will be. And that's what it is. Sharing is also caring, but you shouldn't share everything. And it's been a while. So this is appropriate. This isn't for you, but this is for everybody else so they can give you props and understand that you exist. Shout out SO to my, yeah, you got it. Wait a minute. What? Non-verbal communicating folks. Non-verbal communicating peeps. Peeps that we don't need. We just can sense each other's words, sense each other's ability. We communicate non-verbally. My non-verbal communicating peeps, this isn't for you. This is for everyone else so they know what's up. So they know that there's a different level to regs. There is the maxed out level, and that is becoming a non-verbal communicating peep. We don't need to say anything. We don't need to have words. It is understood. It is understood. Now that's out of the way. Now all of that's out of the way. There has been two things that's been keeping me up at night. I don't know if I'm going to address both. I may not, because I'm in an energy conserving mode, not because I'm not getting the rest, because I'm getting a little bit too much rest. I am getting too much rest. And that's energy conserving mode. That's not a misspeak or misspoke. That is something that we created and ran with. So if you hear someone else saying that, they got it from us. If you hear someone else refer to it, they got it from us. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back or give yourself a standing ovation, or just look at the person that's right across from you or directly in front of you and say, we here. We are here. I was thinking about things that comes too easy, do you really, really need it? Do you really, really appreciate it? And what led me to that is I got so many irons in the skillet. I got so many irons in the fire burning. Whereas it's hard to juggle everything. So some things get cooked a little bit too much. Some things don't get cooked at all. In other words, there's not enough time or hours in a day to accomplish everything that I wish to accomplish. So I have to pick and choose and give things priorities and go with the not necessarily flow or not necessary schedule that I created. Just go with what I feel need to be a higher value at that present time. And it interchanges or it changes from year to year, month to month, and not necessarily week to week. It's more of a month to month, year to year kind of thing. It's not a week to week, and it's definitely not a day to day because that's scatterbrain. That is scatterbrain. Shout out to my scatterbrain peeps. I enjoy you. You entertain. You are funny. You are cool. You are everything that I wish I would never be. And that is me putting you up on a pedestal because I don't wish my existence on anyone else. I don't wish my laser beam focus on anyone else because there's not necessarily enough time or moments where you look and enjoy it. Other people have to point it out. Other people have to be the litmus test for you to enjoy it because you are always in that mode. You are always in that mode, whether it's creating, whether it's learning, whether it's studying, whatever it is, you are always in that mode to getting goals accomplished or growing personally. But you need to take the time and take steps back. And that's why my scatterbrain peeps and my other peeps who aren't like this, they are the ones who can ground you or ground me and let me know what it is and let me know what's up. And I can admire for a couple seconds and then get back on the grind because every minute, every second is accounted for. It is. It is actually. Really. But it's not necessarily all written down. There isn't a plan for a plan. That's a little bit too far. That is something that I can guarantee you will never happen now with this mind state. Maybe, just maybe, when I start to lose my marbles, I start creating plans for plans, write notes for notes. And when that becomes true, then I know that I went a bit too far and it's at the point of no return. And I just need to figure something out, how to maneuver and how to make moves in this new world, this new universe, because things will never be the same again. And back to the story at hand. Is it really worth it if it doesn't require time and effort? Because there's been occasions where I'm putting all the work, putting all the effort, putting all of my skillets in a fire, irons in a fire, and seeing maybe minimum results or seeing little increments, but knowing that at the end or the end game or what I actually want to accomplish is still driving me forward. It is still there. It's just more difficult or it's harder than I expected. But then looking at it in its totality, is it truly worth it? Sometimes I abandon because it's not worth it. Other times it is. So that just comes down to your time. That comes down to your judgment. That comes down to what are you actually trying to get out of whatever it is, whatever goal you set, whatever accomplishment, whatever feat that you want to do. And I bring this up because there's one that came to mind that kept me up late at night. Well, I was thinking, I was like, is this really worth it? Because I've been on this for a multiple of years, but it's one of those goals. It's one of those things where you just can't stop, because as soon as you stop, you fall behind. And when you fall behind, you kind of regress. It's one of those things like working out, but not necessarily. I'm not referring to working out, by the way, even though I have my issues with working out, but it's like working out. You have to continuously work out or do some form of working out to stay in shape. And depending on how often you work out or whatever goals you have working out, you can be muscular, you can be fit, you can be athletic. But soon as you stop working out or you don't work out, your body goes to whatever form it is that you are when you don't do that. So you lose all the gains, you lose all of the ability that you created. And that's kind of like what this is, but it's not necessarily working out, as I mentioned before. It is something else. It's learning a particular skill set. The more and more you practice, the more and more you do, you build that muscle memory up. See, muscle. Told you I was going to tie it in. You build that muscle memory up. You build those connections between the synapses and all the stuff that's in the brain that makes it fire off, and you'll be able to recall it. You'll be able to reuse it. You will be able to understand. But soon as you stop, soon as you take time off, soon as you take breaks, you start to lose that ability. That ability starts to go away. And I'm not necessarily saying it'll go away in a day or a week or anything like that. But when weeks go by, you start to lose a little bit. Then weeks turns into months. And then when you hit the months, you go into the year, and then you just completely, not necessarily forget it all, but you can misremember. Your recall can be bad, but as soon as you pick it back up, as soon as you start it back up, those connections, those patterns will reform again. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be easier, or it will come back as quick as it went away. And that just led me to, is this truly, truly worth it? And then I came back and answered my question, not immediately. It took a few days. And I was like, yeah, it actually is worth it, because it is continuously working the muscle memory. It's continuously creating new patterns, creating new connections, creating new bonds. And I'll be able to utilize this to tie in other aspects that I come across and other aspects I do into the recall mechanism and the memory. So that was an easy one. That was a yes. And then the other one, which I thought I was going to be able to get to. I thought I was going to be able to recall, but I'm sort of drawing a blank here. Is it hard? Yeah. Is it worth it because it's hard? Maybe. If it came easy, would it be something that I would still want or possibly do? Yeah, but it's not that, and that's not this universe. That's not this realm. I am in energy conserving mode still. I really am. And that's why I must bid you adieu. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the new and improved website, XtraVDGsports.com. That is XtraVDGsports.com. There's a YouTube as well, Xtra VDG. That's where you can find all of this. And if you like sports, I mean, you probably don't, but if you do, VDG Sports, like, subscribe, share, basically do whatever it is you do there. The website as well, VDGsports.com. That's there. Noob, that's still here, maybe confused. I suggest you play this again. I suggest you go back and review some historical documents. I suggest you phone in and ask a friend. Regs, I'm still not going to give it to you. I'm not going to even pretend this time. I'm not going to even pretend. I'm just going to say, I'm out. So peace.